Welcome to flannel season, my friends. Welcome to beard season. Welcome to the doorstep of No Shave November. Just single digit days away, you guys. It is officially beard madness and beard time. That's crazy, Nick. I just got an SMS message from Talentless.
Me too. I did too.
We were just talking about them, 2 minutes ago, maybe at most?
We were. It's it's gone from like targeted to now like targeted push marketing.
That is so funny. Yeah, they're a bit much.
They are. I will say they're a little heavy. They're a little heavy on the communication. I'm not super appreciating it.
Yeah, it's a little bit much. It's a good lesson to learn from the other side. So yeah, absolutely.
The eye appointment reminder too, like all at once. It must be like the 1 o'clock SMS push. Either that or like, Postscript was down for like 2 hours and now it's just sending all of its stuff all at once.
Yeah, right. But we would like to say hello to everybody in the chat. We have in here Dennis and Daryl and Amber and Bucky and Jill and Leo, David, Abe, your mom, Julie. We have in Chris, Dynamite, Toll Booth, Willie. We have Jay. Man, we got all the friends in the house tonight. Welcome, you guys, and thank you for joining us. I hope that you will add to the discussion and enjoy the conversation and, of course, the vibes that we have. But beyond that, and Arden, welcome. If you're out there, guys, drop a comment. We'd love to show you some love. We have a show every Tuesday, normally around 1 p.m. Eastern, and we just simply go over whatever the heck you guys want, whatever we want. Get to know this company, get to know the people, get to know the products, and just really kind of have a lifestyle of discussion and transparency. And my name is Dan. I'm the co-host of this show. His name is Nick. He is the other co-host of this show, the co-owner of the company. I am not an owner, but Jillian in the chat is the other co-owner and the magician in the lab, whipping up products and scents and so much that we all appreciate and really, really notice. So shout out to Jill. Nick, how are you doing on this chilly fall, flirting, looking like winter Tuesday? How you doing, my man?
You know what? Doing a whole lot better than if I lived in the Caribbean, which is not what I would normally say at this time of year. You know what I mean? Like this time of year, that's usually where I want to be this time of year. And we're like watching satellite history getting made down there with 180 mile an hour winds. So we're doing pretty good up here.
All right, hit me. I've only briefly seen like Jamaican flags posted and stuff like that. Hit me with any details that you've seen or what is going on.
Yeah, I mean, like if there's any metal fans that live in down there in Jamaica and they don't have like Merciful Fate Melissa playing on loop today, it's just I have no faith left in the world. There's it's brutal. I was looking at it last night. They said like by the time it was going to make landfall, it was going to be like almost 175 mile an hour winds.
Wow,
with a 14-foot storm surge, and they were like. I was watching the prime minister down there. He's talking and he's like, well, we're trying to open all the shelters. It's just the problem is some of like the community shelters, there's only like one person with a key. And with some of those places, we haven't been able to get a hold of the people with the key. So some of the shelters are going to be open. It's going to be kind of hit or miss. It's not kind of unknown if the person with the key may be evacuated, and I'm like, oh, dear God, you guys are not ready for this at all.
No. Wow. It sounds like the big companies you deal with in cybersecurity. It's like one thing can mess up the entirety of it, and you depend on that one thing, and it should never just be one thing.
You know what? You take your vitamins so you don't need the painkillers when something breaks, when things go wrong. And it's like, that's just what you do. Sometimes... But I mean, come on, though. After what happened, what's happening down there lately, like that's a belt and suspenders situation. Like if you're down there, you better have like backup plan to the backup plan. There might be like 10 people with maybe some duplicate keys.
Right.
Those filters,
Right. Easy. Done.
I'll go down there with a key making machine. Like no problem. Like set me up shop somewhere pretty near the beach and I'll help.
And Bucky's got you. He said, great album, 7 deaths already from Melissa.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, dude. It's
So
brutal.
already they have 7 deaths? Wow.
Well, it hit last. It was like hit so the problem is that it's a gigantic storm system, right? It's huge, and with winds moving like at 175 miles an hour, the movement of the storm itself is only tracking at about 3 miles an hour. So you got to think you have like 3 mile an hour storm moving with 180 mile an hour winds. It's just beating the tar out of whatever it's sitting on top.
It's just staying there.
Yeah, it's just sitting there like a finger
Dang.
sitting on top of those poor people.
And then your wonderful mother said, good look with the beard, Nick.
Oh, I think you know what it is? It's like 6 braids. It's like a braid here that braids into a braid here with another one over here, and then it goes into these guys with no braid in the bottom. So it's like there's a lot going on here. A lot of layers.
I dig it.
Very complex.
Yeah, I dig it. Right, I was thinking on this, a big crowbar, like if there's a shelter and you got to get in a hurricane, I'm getting in somehow.
Oh, dude, yeah. If I'm on an island and there is a fortified cement building that's made to be occupied in times of need and I can't get in it, I'm going to get in it.
Yeah, so true. And Buggy said it's their first Category 5 in Jamaica.
Yeah, it is. It's just because weather patterns are changing like so much. Like they've never had a Category 5 in Jamaica. Like
interesting.
It's just never happened. Never made landfall anyway.
Sam and I were discussing this just today. Our clouds and our sunsets the last like 2 months have been insanely vibrant and beautiful and different, like 3-4 different types of clouds, pinks, purple, oranges. And we have like every other week we have the Northern Lights, Aurora Borealis. We get the alerts where it's like, go outside at 10:58 and you have a perfect solar storm. And we're like, okay, is this one of the things we have not noticed until we hit this age, right? Which things happen. Like we love birds. I didn't care about birds 20 years ago. It didn't mean anything to me, but now I see every bird. I know their call and I'm like, that's just an age thing. Birds aren't changing.
No.
Is the weather changing? Is the sunset, the sunrise, the clouds, the everything, or am I just older and noticing it? I can't figure it out.
That one is not you. That one is 1,000% weather changing.
Okay. In Jacobson, Michigan, he said, Dan, spot on. It's been wild. It's been the most vibrant everything in the last couple months.
So like without getting into the whole, like, is there climate change?
Right.
We have that question like there's this concept where if you look at the jet stream and you look at the historical movement of it, like where you guys are, especially like middle of the country, like right, up north, the jet stream's moving lower and lower and lower later in the year. And if you look at the patterns, there's first time jet stream locations happening like every month in the Midwest. So without getting into like, is the climate changing? Just looking at statistical satellite data, the jet stream at least is changing. And because of that, your clouds and your pressure in your sky is different now than it's ever been.
Yeah.
So like sunsets are dependent on, moisture in the air and clouds. So it's like if the jet stream is closer to you than it's ever been, or you're in it, for example, you're going to see a lot of different stuff.
Okay. All right. Because I grew up fishing and we'd go real early, right before the sunrise.
Oh, yeah.
So
you got sunrise like crazy.
Yeah. And so we would always observe, and we had the little sayings like if the sky is red, and then they'd say all these things about fishermen and stuff. But it was just like we never really, it was once in a great while you'd have like this beautiful color sunrise. Now it was purple this morning. The whole sky was purple at 8 o'clock when we took the kids to the bus stop. And same thing, I'm like, is it because we're doing the bus for the first time this year? So I'm like, no, I was outside at 8 o'clock last year and the year before. And with the climate change thing, right, I don't think anybody argues that the climate is changing. I think the silly political dramatic stuff is, what is the human cause? What is it natural? Stop. It's changing, right? We observe. I don't really care on that other side, but it's been beautiful here, like insanely beautiful.
Dude,
and the Northern Lights.
He's dead on.
it's like every other week right now we have these big alerts, and Jacob is more north than me. He's up by where my parents live. They have it even more so. And it's just the Facebook just goes insane with everybody posting the pictures because you would probably know much more than I would, but the northern lights you pick up on your iPhone much more than you do with the naked eye, right? There will be times where you can't see it naked, but you do an iPhone picture and you're like, whoa, it's there.
So that's where I would have no information for you, believe it or not. It's
Interesting.
One of the weird things that I've never gone up. I've never gone up and done any of the. Well, it's funny we talk about this now. So here we never got northern lights before, and now in the winter months we're starting to again get the notices. But you've had to like go up near like the border of Canada traditionally, like in New Hampshire or Vermont. And my buddy, actually, he's a guide. He takes people out to go photograph the northern lights. I've never gone up and done it though. I've always wanted to.
Okay. Yeah, we just have it in our backyard now. Like it's just twice a month, like vibrant. You'll see the bands of it and everything at night. It's like we've gotten the kids up to go look at it and stuff. It's been really cool. And I've never had that in my whole life here.
Yeah, it's crazy to see like just what's happening at different times of year. Like you look at where it's, someone says lived in Ohio for 15 years, never had northern lights until now. It's like, it's just so interesting. And you look, it's just a difference in the pressure in the sky. And you look how close we are to the jet stream now. And that's what I think that is a big point to do with it, doesn't it? I'm not sure. I think the jet stream or being in it or close to it makes it so it's much more visible. Or if you're north of the jet stream, I think, and it's something to do with the moisture in the air, makes it more transparent so you can see through it, I think.
Okay.
But I could be completely wrong. So someone please feel free to correct me.
So firefighter, he's also northern Michigan. He said northern lights come in cycles. We are on the downward trend from the peak of the 11-year cycle. Interesting, because this year seems like the peakity peak of all peaks, according to my Facebook. And we follow, there's like this Facebook page called like Michigan Storm Chasers. Fantastic. And they're making crazy money too. But they get sponsors on everything. I think they have a Patreon, but they do really good content and they keep you up to date on all this stuff. And so they'll do like the maps of like what time and where you can see the best. And it's so frequent right now. And I'm not, hey, no arguments here. If you tell me I get a more beautiful sky in the morning and at night, come on with it, man. That makes me happy.
I didn't know it was an 11-year cycle. That's interesting. And does it have to do with like the wobble of the Earth, where it's like the pole gets kind of closer north and then further north as you kind of wobble around in our orbit?
It makes sense. It makes sense.
Astronomers in here that can set this straight.
Right. I had a minor in college on astronomy. I couldn't even tell you where the Big Dipper is, though, these days. I have no idea on anything I learned. Yeah, nothing. Yeah, peakity peak of all the peaks. Right? I did say that. And yeah, this page, though, I've thought about them many times. They're brilliant. They have monetized a passion in a similar way that many of us have here. And one of the best things they do is anytime a storm is going on, like a severe thunderstorm and especially tornadoes and then like blizzards, they go live and they get thousands and thousands of people that are just wanting to hear about their area. And we've been in the basement in the last 2 years, probably like 6 times for tornadoes. I've never once opened the news app. I only open Michigan Storm Chasers. And they just get super chat after super chat after member after member after member. And it's just people like appreciate it. So they're crushing it. They got a full team. It's like a legit business.
Oh, that's super cool. You got to love that, man.
Right. I've said it a million times, but we would all be better off as a society if people make money doing what they enjoy. Period. Yeah. End of story. It's not even debatable. If everybody liked what they did, oh my gosh, think about the tension. Think about the divorce rate, the alcoholism. There's so many problems that if people enjoyed making money to provide for their family, it would change everything.
I can think of a lot of jobs though that I can't fathom somebody liking. Like,
dude, there's some weirdos out there.
Dude, I don't know though, man. I think of some jobs out there that I'm pretty sure you don't do unless you don't have much other choice. And it's
then we make those jobs so egregiously compensated that they fall in love with the reward rather than the process.
Okay, there you go. Because you know what? It's perfectly okay if your passion in life is just making money.
And there's people like that.
There's people like that where if your passion in life is making money, you're like, wait, I need to take that pile of horse manure and move it to that pile right there, and I can make X amount of money doing it a year more than I'm making right now. Done.
And they'll love it.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you though, dude, I like studying people. Like it's just something I enjoy. I don't watch shows or movies and stuff, but I'll watch documentaries on the weirdest stuff of all time. There's people for every weird thing out there. I guarantee there's someone that's like, ooh, manure all day? Sign me up. Let's go.
Oh, dude, yeah. Someone out there is like, wait a minute. I get to add chlomine to large amounts of wastewater and then measure the pH of it all day? Yes. Like, someone out there wants to work in water treatment. Someone out there wants to work in those sanitation jobs.
Yeah, like Dirty Jobs, Mike Rowe. Yeah, that was a great show. That was a great show.
Oh, man. Nick DeJesus, deodorant. Working on it, bro. And you know what? We have another release coming out before that one. So we have one other thing happening before that. And I feel like we're close, but then I feel like we're far away. You know, because it's like I get something and it's just nothing has worked as well as what I'm using. And it's I know exactly what it is at this point. I know why that works and what we've tried isn't working. And if I was okay with like really staining the armpits of my shirts and maybe bleaching the black parts of my shirts, I'd say we have something that works really, really well. But no one wants that or has time for that. So you know, we could put things out there and everyone would buy exactly one of them and ruin all their shirts. Right. And then we would have released deodorant. But
dude, I just had a discussion with an owner and I said, it's super easy to sell a product.
Oh, yeah.
The difficult part is selling it again.
Oh, yeah. Selling it twice.
100% you can get a good launch, but do you get them back? And then real quick, I love that you called him Nick DeJesus. It's DeJesus. Hey Jesus.
Sorry, the Big Lebowski in me came out on that.
That's so funny. Fantastic. I love that. And yes,
listen, that goes back. Hold on.
All right, let's hit it. Let's hit day Jesus.
So I am well known for sounding like Peggy Hill when I speak Spanish. Like dead on. Like I speak Spanish like I'm from El Paso.
Okay.
I don't know why. I've never lived in Texas. I don't have a Southern accent. As soon as you try to get me speaking Spanish, and it's like I'm okay, like in my earpiece, like with my AirPod, you know, in the comfort of like my car, completely alone. Where you put me confronted in a conversation, where all of a sudden there's multiple people speaking whatever language it is, I'm done. Especially like Spanish, though. It's like as soon as it happens, I have a Texas accent that comes out, and it sounds intentional. Like it sounds like I'm mocking Spanish every time I speak Spanish. And I have nothing against the language, but I just butcher it. We were just talking about this with somebody last week. It's really bad.
Jill said so bad. So bad.
It's so bad. It's so bad. Like I need to fix it.
What's up, Ellie? Nice new picture. Welcome. Have you heard my college story of my Spanish 2 class, my last class in college?
No, I don't think so.
So I don't know why. This drives me crazy. I could go on a rant all day about college education. But for me in Michigan to teach history, right? Ancient world history, I had to take 2 semesters of Spanish. Spanish 1 and Spanish 2. I had no choice. I mean, I guess I could have taken French or something harder, but I had to have 2 full college classes of a foreign language. Well, at the University of Michigan, look it up. Their policy is they cannot speak in English during class hours. If you need a professor to speak to you in English, you have to go to their office hours and go talk to them separately. Well, I had no foreign language in the history of my life. So when I got to college, I did what any bright young man would do. I procrastinated and I put it off until my last 2 semesters, right?
Obviously.
And so now I'm a 22-year-old with 0 experience in foreign language. I don't know the concept, right? The concept of learning a foreign language is a skill in itself and how your brain processes it. So I skate by Spanish 1 with a C minus. There was a really nice girl. Her name was Kelly. She, I think, liked me. And so she was pretty much fluent in Spanish, but she took Spanish 1 so she could have class with me. Well, she greatly helped with all of my work, right? Greatly helped.
Power leveled you through Spanish.
Yeah. So I got to a C minus, and I was perfectly happy with that. Well, then I get my very last class of college ever, my very last class of college, and it's Spanish 2. And I emailed the professor on the first day, and I said, "Hey, professor," and it's a lady, like she was like 6'2", blonde, very pale Spanish professor that just spoke perfectly. And I said, I emailed her and was like, "Hey, this is my very last class of college. All I need is a D minus to pass this class. If I get that, I graduate, and then I get to go teach and coach. If I don't get a D minus, then I have to come back for another semester, and I'll lose out on a year of teaching." Not saying anything. I just want to make sure that is out there. Never responded.
Enclosed, you'll find a check for $1,000. Right. Donate to the charity of Pearson.
Never responded. And I go to class. She loves me. And all I'm trying to do is like entertain the class. I'm going to bring the personality, and we would have oral exams in class. So you'd have to say something. So I couldn't even cheat. I couldn't even use assisted help from Kelly. And so what I would do before each oral exam is I would memorize a joke or like a line where I would hit on the professor in Spanish. It had nothing to do with the exam. Absolutely nothing. And so they'd be going around, and the exam would be, and you didn't know what the topic was. So you'd come into class and be like, describe your first pet. And you're supposed to do that in Spanish. I would get up, and my very last one that I did that I think was like the breaking point is there. It was describe your pet in Spanish, your first pet in Spanish. And I had memorized coming in. I don't even remember it, but I asked her in Spanish. I said, are your pants made of mirrors? Because I have Windex and I can see myself in them. In Spanish, died, lost it, blushing, just losing her mind. Like amazing entertainment. The class, like half of it laughed, and then the other half didn't understand Spanish, so they didn't get it either. And then all comes out. I get my transcript. I kid you not, my literal last grade of college, University of Michigan, D minus.
Yep.
I have no idea if I actually earned it statistically or if she just pressed a little button. But in my first interview, my only interview I had for teaching, they asked me about it. They're like, dude, your last grade was a D minus. And then I spun it and used it, of course. And I said, yeah, everybody that's out in the lobby right there, they're goody two shoes. They get all A's. They don't understand the kid that struggles. I struggle. I get those kids. I'm going to get them. I'm going to make sure they like teaching. They were like, oh, he's the one and stuff. So like all worked out in this perfect way. Yeah, it was.
You notice all my other grades were almost perfect. And this one, I understand people that just have one thing that just doesn't work for them. And I'm going to find the things that do work. Because look, here I am.
Yep. Nope. Exactly. I ended college with a 3.0 GPA. Exactly. An exact B. What is it? Exact B average for college.
And do you think that was like, how much of that average do you think happened because of that D minus?
A little bit, but I was cool. So I always had this scale. If it took this much work to get a B, I would do it. If it took a little bit more to get an A, I would probably do that. But if it took substantially more to get an A compared to a B, I'm cool with the B. I'm right here. And so I was fine with Bs.
You know what? I just had somebody last week tell me the 80% rule of like, just go for 80%. Like with most of the things that you're doing, go for like 80, because chances are it's still going to be closer to 100 than you think. Yeah. And, that way you're not ever disappointed by not just putting out perfection.
Right. Like, and looking at it now, how often does my education come up? I mean, often, right? Bachelor's from Michigan, 2 master degrees, that comes up in situations. How often has my GPA come up since that interview date? Exactly 0 times.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly 0. It's never mattered. I got the degree, and so, yeah, that was my Spanish story. So shout out to Day Jesus. We appreciate that.
Yeah. And that was literally like that reminded me. Hearing you say it too just reminds me so much of Big Lebowski. I'm gonna have to watch that later now.
And the only reason that I knew that is I taught our Spanish teacher's last name was De Jesus.
Look at that. Well, and if I think about it, if you were like, Nick, how do you pronounce this person's name and put it up there, I'd probably go with De Jesus.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
Glancing past it, definitely to Jesus.
For sure. And Leo says, every native Spanish speaker I know who is fluent in English uses Spanish as pero instead of the English conjunction but, and can't say why.
And can't say why.
So they use pero instead of but.
Huh.
I'm going to go to the store, pero. It won't be till later.
Interesting. My buddy Christian is fluent in Spanish. Like whenever we'd travel together and find ourselves in and we'd find ourselves in Spanish speaking situations, it was funny because he'd have like certain English words that were always there, and no matter what, even if he was speaking Spanish, there was an English word that worked its way in there just because he was used
Spanglish.
to yeah.
Yep. No doubt. My sister, the lawyer one, she minored in Spanish. She lived in Spain, in Madrid for 4 months. She's like 6 foot, blonde, kind of like, she was not my professor, but she's fluent in Spanish, like wildly fluent.
Eric can be too. Oh, like yeah. So Jill actually, she's another one. She's like on paper, like she's actually pretty good with Spanish, like in little bursts. And then she's like me though. As soon as you put her in a situation where she's got to use it, big choke,
Interesting.
Fat choker. Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's weird. She, you know what? Not nearly as bad as me. It's not like she comes out sounding like she's from Texas, and she actually does manage to get her point across pretty good. But like if she's like telling me how to say something in Spanish, she speaks much better Spanish than if she needed to do it like in front of somebody and interact with them.
Interesting. Now they said that these are pronounced differently. Do you know the difference in pronunciation here? Because I do not.
Pero and Pero. I guess.
Oh, Pero. Okay.
Or probably one is like Pero, right? You gotta like
you got to roll the double R.
Yeah, I think so.
Interesting. I only remember a few. I remember Biblioteca. I remember Los Pantalones. I remember Cerveza.
Or an exaggerated entonces. Like all I can hear from high school Spanish is my Spanish teacher saying entonces. That's all I can hear. That's literally all I can hear over and over again in my head is her saying entonces and then like pointing at something or like grabbing something.
If you said, Dan, your life's on the line, what does entonces mean? I've got nothing. Absolutely no concept.
The best part is that's all I can hear her say, and I totally forget what it means. Don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Admit it right now on camera too.
No, Jill, I know all those. Biblioteca, Pantalones, and Cerveza. I figured if I was lost in Mexico, somebody somehow would help me if I knew those 3 things.
You know, you're pretty fun. And then as long as you know bathroom in addition to that, like you're pretty good. You know?
Yep. Yeah, no, I got you, Leo. We were right on the cusp. So No Shave November, my friends. I want to hear Nick. I haven't been able to pick his brain on any thoughts on No Shave November, but also I want to punt to the chat as well. If you guys have any topics you would like to discuss on No Shave November, or if you have any questions you would like to discuss about No Shave November, please hit it in the chat.
Yep.
I'm going to lead with just one thing and then let Nick kind of take it any direction he wants to. And it's just, I briefly touched on it last night, but it's just my concept of No Shave November, where this is year 8 of doing this, and I've seen a lot of situations. And let me paint the picture. You guys are here. We have great numbers. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. It means a lot. It really does. But you guys are here, meaning you are very educated beard people. I don't care if it's Ellie, who's been in the community for years and years and years. I don't care if it's someone who just started taking care of their beard and everywhere in between. If you're in here, you have a very good understanding of beard care, beard products, and beard everything. Now, when it comes to No Shave November and the dudes at work are shaving this week and then they're not going to for a month, oftentimes it's like our Super Bowl. And you're like, naturally, ha ha, my area of specialty, my time to shine. And it's a natural inkling to be able to try and flex your knowledge, to try and flex your understanding. And almost always in a situation like a new beardsman, somebody going through No Shave November, if you flex on them with how much you know and how much you can teach them, they're likely going to run the other way. When that month is over, you're dang near going to guarantee they shave their beard. If you're like, dude, I got you. Wash every day. Follow with conditioner every day. Don't forget beard butter at night. It's oil after every shower. Exfoliate in the shower. Don't forget biotin. Drink a gallon of water. Make sure you're using this. Make sure their heads are going to explode and they're going to not want to do anything with beards ever again.
No.
So my biggest point is make yourself available. Make sure it's known that you do care about beard care and that they can come to you for any questions or any help that's needed. And then if you do want to insert yourself and offer some help, just be very brief about it, right? I saw a guy today who at his work, they posted shaving and they're starting a little bit early. They're not going to shave after today. I messaged and just said, dude, I love it. If you guys need anything, just let me know. By the way, if you get beard itch, have them consider just two simple things, beard wash and beard oil. And I just left it there. I don't want to push too hard. I don't want to push too far. But now they know they have that opening. Because a lot of times, guys, we don't like to ask other guys stuff, right? And so even if you know someone takes care of their beard, you might not ask them. But if you put that opening out there and you're like, hey, hit me up anytime you guys have questions or you need anything, now the door's open. Now they'll enter and they'll ask. That's kind of this year, my biggest lens with No Shave November. Be available, but not overbearing.
I think that's really good advice. You know, and I like the direction some people are taking it here in the chat too. Like this is all really good.
Yeah.
So for me, it's yeah, that's always a delicate balance of giving too much advice. I 100% do not give unsolicited advice on beards. It's just I don't. And
I agree.
It's just one of those things. I think it's very off-putting, and I think it's like almost insulting, right? Like it's assumptive, right? And it's pushy. Like there's a lot of things that don't come off good. So don't do it, right? Because it gives all of us a bad name.
Agreed.
So beyond that, I think it's some of the stuff that I'm seeing in the chat, like trim, no trim. You know, it's. I think it's cool just because I like making jokes about it. So like my thing with No Shave November, people of course always ask, they're like, man, No Shave November, huh? And I'm like, yep, 13 years ago. Or like, you know, I'll tell them I shave it off every night and grow it back in every day like this. Or I'll tell them I shaved it fresh for November and it's going pretty good so far. You know, like that's usually what I'll usually crack jokes more than anything. So for me, it's a platform to make fun of myself and to crack jokes with people, which is that's who I am.
Yeah.
But no, definitely no unsolicited advice. But now a lot of time, like you say, people will throw things out. And what's funny is I've learned that you'll get questions without them being questions from people in No Shave November quite a bit. Because like you said, for some reason, some guys don't like asking other guys questions about personal care related issues. They just don't. They're not comfortable with it.
Right.
And so sometimes people will say things as statements that you can actually tell are silent cries for help. Like they'll say, oh man, I wish I could do No Shave November, but I can't get my beard to stop itching.
Yep.
And then they'll just stop. And it's like, you know, what do you say at that point, owning a beard products company and having a 2.5 foot long beard? Do you say nothing at all? Sucks to suck. Like, what do you know what I mean? Like, that's not exactly what you do. So at that point, like, I find it okay to like throw it out there. Like, that's the reason I started a beard care company was literally because I couldn't grow a beard because my beard was itching so bad. You know, have you done anything about it? And like once in a while, it'll kind of start with that. Like, you know, you want to grow a beard? Yes. Have you done anything to try to stop the things that keep you away from it? No. I don't like using products and I don't wash my face. Okay, cool.
Right.
Well, growing a beard is going to suck.
Right.
You know, it'll usually stop right there. Like, like Mark Twain, never
No
argue
chance.
with a fool, because you won't convince them you're right. No one will be able to tell who's who. And I have that situation with beard care quite a bit, because oddly enough, I've run into about equal the amount of those people in New England as I have people who care about their beard. If you're talking about someone who's just starting to grow a beard or wants to, or is talking about why they can't, it's very, very interesting, because you kind of get both sides of the equation.
Yeah, no doubt. And Willie's kind of piggybacking off that and taking it a step further. He said, I hooked my coworker up with half my gift card I won last week Commands Corner, had him pick whatever he wanted to try as he's just starting his journey. That's another thing with guys, especially, we really fear making the wrong decisions with our money. It's why most guys get the same thing at the same restaurant all the time, because the risk of getting something else and not liking it as much is just paralyzing to us. And so the concept of a guy being like, I think I want to try beard oil, but literally, and it's such a foreign concept to us now, but literally the concept of putting oil on your face as a man is so different than anything we ever came up with. It's so different that it strikes fear into them to have to think about buying something and then trying something. So that is an amazing way to go about it. And I love Jacob's approach here. I just tell them great beard, and if they need help, perfect. You're opening the door. And then Bucky says, maintenance, trim a beard or leave it be for topic? Ooh, so Bucky, are you talking about in No Shave November? Are you saying, like, is a maintenance trim off limits? Because that's a good question, right? We know very clearly that you can't shave, but is trimming within the rules?
Trimming isn't shaving.
I agree.
That's like, as far as I'm concerned, I'm taking that one like super duper literal. Like,
I agree.
Trimming is not shaving. Shaving is shaving.
Yeah. And then very interesting point here from Leo that I never thought about. It actually surprises me with coming from Leo, but in a great way. And he says, superficial is a good way to start, even if a bad way to think. Now, this is getting into some psychological stuff. So if somebody is getting interested in growing a beard, he is saying, hit them with a superficial topic, AKA that looks great on you. Or if you use this, you will look better or you will smell better. Not necessarily tell them the health benefits, not necessarily tell them how it can make their beard feel. Hit them where it really matters, and it's how they look. And I love what he said. He was like, even if you think that's a bad approach, even if we all agree beard care should not be about just simply about how you look. It should be more than that. But if that's what gets you in the door, if that's what starts the healthy habits, right? And we're going through trying to get Jax to eat more food and better food, and he's got all this stuff going on. And we're kind of like that, where we're like, if something will build, he's essentially on a medication now that is making him have more appetite. Yep. Clearly not a long-term fix. Clearly something we don't want to be on. But if it simply sets the routine and the mindset of him wanting food and getting used to wanting food, do I think medication's the best route? No. But if that is establishing his habits and that gets us to the end, I love it. I'm here for it. And I get what Leo is saying. Most people aren't going to care that you're like, dude, let me tell you about these long chain fatty acids and what it can do for you. Oh my gosh, right? It's going to change your life, bro. They're like, will it help me get chicks? Will my wife like me more? You know, those are, I don't know how I can spin that into a video, but that is a potent observation right there.
Well, like, what is that? Like, okay, so let's see. Who makes more money, laser fat removal places or gyms?
Right. Which one costs more? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Which one are people willing to spend an exorbitant amount of money on? And it's one because one's a fix and it's a quick fix and it's superficial. right?
Yeah.
One's like good for you and builds good habits and all of this, blah, 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 blah. Burn the fat off when I get it from eating donuts.
Right. Jill said nothing gets girls revved up like quite like long chain fatty acids. Woo, that'll get the chicks.
I tell you what, it scored me one.
Yep. Right. You've got a keeper. That's the exception. Literally, you're like, oh man, so I kind of have this like beard product business that's essential oils and natural products. Jill's like, what? Tell me more. Tell me more.
Focus on like, skin a lot. It's kind of halfway between like a cosmetics thing and like a men's grooming products kind of a company.
What? It's what most people care about. Does it make you look? I know. And this is something I have to check myself on. It's the buzzword echo chamber gets thrown around with politics, right? We understand that. But there's echo chambers in everything. And most of us are absolutely not saying we live there, but we visit an echo chamber of beard care, where the people we speak to on a daily basis are super understanding, super knowledgeable. We are a vast minority. And Nate's right. Most people just care how it makes them look and then maybe how it makes them smell.
Yeah. But you know what? One leads to the other. I can tell you that much. We are sitting across from a couple that's like in their mid 30s. A couple at the benefit dinner, at the charity dinner that I went to with the wolf artwork, and we're sitting across from him, and something comes up. I forget what it was. Something about age or something. Jill and I are sitting across from them, and he's like, yeah, but like, what are you, like 32, 33? And I'm like 42. And he's like, and this guy literally almost fell out of his chair. He's like, what? He's like, what are you doing? He's like, whatever it is, it's working.
That's amazing.
But it was one of those things where like, it's one thing does lead to another, but unfortunately there isn't like a quick fix that makes you just look younger, right? Like, and I don't think anything will make you look younger, right? I think being in my late 20s, early 30s and starting to like take care of my skin, I think kept me from looking older, right?
I was going to say
anything ever made me look younger.
The baseline is everyone looks older than their actual age. You're just trying to maintain what your actual age is, because there are things you could do to look older right now. You can add a bunch of wrinkles. There's so many things we could add to go the other way. You're right.
Absolutely. If I started eating like sugar and cheeseburgers every day, I would definitely look like I'm 43 by the time I was 43, I bet.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things where like, I think avoiding certain stuff, I think definitely helps your skin not go through the hell that it goes through sometimes. Because you look at people that look much older than they look, and oftentimes it's environmental. It's like,
right.
There are definitely things they can do about it, right? Because if they're out in those types of environments all day, I think there's ways to help your skin recover from it. But I mean, your skin literally, especially the skin on your face and the skin on your hands, is literally like the two most noticeable things when you start to, get older. You can have a gray beard and have like decent skin on your face and your hands and, look 10 years younger than you are.
Hands are everything. Sam and I, again, weirdly, we just discussed this at the gym. There's this lady, I thought I knew her. Her name's Sandy. Shout out to Sandy. And we just had like member appreciation week. So they did like free BMI measures, body mass index, and all this stuff. And it's pretty interesting when you do that, even though it's not a great metric, and they even admit that and they say that, but it gives your metabolic age. And she came over and I was like, hey, is your name Sandy by chance? She was like, yeah. I said, I graduated and played water polo and swam with your son. And she was like, oh my gosh, you're the beard influencer. And then like we took a selfie and stuff and was like, I just had to say something because you are like my wife's gym crush. She comments on you every day. She talks about how ripped you are and how amazing you look. And she was like, yeah, I am 62. She goes, but I just got my metabolic age 46. And I'm like, whoa.
That's
and then And she does look incredible. And she was like, she super owned it, which was really awesome. She's like, oh no, I've worked at this every day for years and years and years. I did mine, I'm 37. My metabolic age was 38. So I was like right where I was at.
Where
But
you're supposed to be.
yeah, but what we would notice in the gym where you notice age the most, and it's one of those things that you see, you process, and you understand, but you don't consciously think about it. It is the hands. It's the thinness on the outside of the hands. It's the veins. It's the wrinkles. I think hands tell more than face. I really do.
Oh, 100%. Like I won't even really guess someone's age until I get to see their hands, because I won't have the full picture of what I'm guessing. And that will adjust my number by 10 years back or forward for sure.
Interesting.
Like there's nothing in someone's face that's going to make me say, ooh, never mind, 56, not 40. Right. But absolutely the hands would be like, ooh, never mind, 56.
And I think it's probably harder to hide the hands than not. And again, 10 years ago, I would have never thought about someone's hand age. It's just so interesting.
It is. I went for a speaking of No Shave November, I just talked about No Shave November last couple of weeks ago with a doctor, because I had to go in for a cardio, a pulmonary function stress test. So it's like where they put you on the bike and you have to pedal against like the impossible bike, and you have to have the mask on. Yeah. With like you biting down on the breathing tube, and they're measuring the gases in and out. You did it? Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I got the number that apparently is like the most important number to anyone's health that no one ever gets, which is your VO2 max number.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So like your VO2 max, I guess if you want to get it on your own, it's like $8,000 to go to a place and like get like the study done, and like get like the elective study done where you get your VO2 max. And I guess there's other ways to derive it. But the guy I was in there talking to, we got to talking quite a bit before the exam. It was funny. We were going and talking, and we're going back and forth, and I was asking him some questions, and he's like, engineer? And I was like, yeah, engineer, architect, engineer. And he's like, oh, okay, great. Favorite kind of patient. So he starts
he gets
describing things in gross detail at that point, because
I love that
my engineering brain will like it, and he won't feel like he's talking to a wall or talking over somebody. It's like, I'll take what I can and leave the rest. And
Amber says, I was about to say VO2 max, and real quick shout out. Amber just completed her journey, to become a certified personal trainer. And she just had her first 2 in-person clients, I believe, yesterday.
Hey, congratulations, Amber.
Yep. Super cool.
The VO2 max is huge. And so this guy said that as far as like looking at someone's health goes, he's like, I don't know why we do all the other testing that we do and we don't just do this. He's like, if something is off about someone's VO2 max in certain ways, I know whether to look at their heart, to look at their brain, to look at their vascular system, to look at their muscles, if they're dehydrated. He's like, I can tell 20 different things that can cause someone to die in the next week by looking at their VO2 max numbers.
Jeez.
He's like, I don't know why we don't triage with VO2 max when someone has undiagnosable problems. He's like, it can tell you so much. And I was super nervous going in for this test because I smoked for 26 years.
Cigarettes?
Yeah, I smoked cigarettes for 26 years, and I'd say at about 24 of those years, it was definitely a pack a day.
Okay.
And so it was, I was really worried, and I grew up with asthma. So like I grew up on nebulizers and asthma and trips to the hospital, and then turned 14 and boom, instantly I was smoking like an idiot. And so, and I smoked for, a really long time, like I say, 20 something years. I think it was 26. And so at the end of the test, he was like, and I told him I smoked that long. He was blown away. I had 95% of the VO2 max number I should have as a non-smoker at 42.
Wow.
So my VO2 max numbers were 95% of what an ideal 42-year-old non-smoker should have as VO2 max levels. And as far as like pulmonary function goes, 90 something percent of like the pulmonary function that someone should have as a non-smoker at 42. So like he said that I somehow like literally dodged the bullet as far as he could tell. And he's like, if you didn't tell me you were a smoker, I would not know.
Wow.
And I'm a pulmonary specialist. He's like, I wouldn't know that you smoked.
Wow. Now, does quitting alcohol also help with that number or not related?
I don't know. I have no idea. I would have to assume it would help because it's a vascular or a vascular restrictor, right?
Okay.
And
yeah,
so,
I don't know.
Yeah, it's I think it's a restrictor, not dilator. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like your blood absorption goes down considerably with alcohol in your system. I know that's like when I used to work out all the time, the trainer I worked out with, he was always like, do you think you could just maybe drink on the weekends? Because like drinking during the week, it like really makes it suck for progress in the gym. And I was like, yeah, progress, schmogress. And
I had a fun time.
well, no, I was always like, I'm like, yeah, I don't drink during the week. I have Pacifico with dinner. He's like, that's drinking. And I was like, no, it's not. It's light beer.
Right. I have memories of last night. I didn't drink.
No, and that's what I always told him. I totally pulled like a Billy Bob Thornton from Landman. I'm like, I don't drink. It's light beer.
Yeah, right. All right. No Shave November question, because Bucky brings up a good one. One of the most common questions that I don't have a good answer to. So to me, a good answer is not, it all depends, right? That doesn't help most people. So the question that I get often, especially from brand new people that should be way off from even thinking about it, but the question is, when do I do my first trim? Now, clearly, we all know it depends on your goals. It depends on your beard. There's so much.
The answer is it depends, but you don't want to give that answer.
No. So as a community, we got so many intelligent bearded people. And then by bearded, I'm not just saying with the facial hair, just meaning like in your mind. What is a better, and maybe this will be a video too. What is a better answer than it depends on your goals? And is there one? Does it exist? How do we say that in an encouraging way?
Well, okay. So for me, so it depends it doesn't say it depends on what. It depends on me. It depends on my beard. It depends on my skin. It depends on my job. What does it depend on? What do you mean? What do you mean it depends?
Right. But even so let's say I do say it depends on your goals. They don't know. They have no idea their goals, and guys want answers. We know this. Guys want answers right then. When do I trim?
I tell people it depends, but without saying the word depends. I say it's subjective. I say it's subjective to what you like, for what you like, for what you like for a look. I mean, it is. And so like, to me, it's like, when's time for your first trim? When you feel like you either don't like what you see now or liked what you saw before a little better, or it's just going in the wrong direction, right? It's like, when's the time for the first trim? It's like, well, maybe when you have more scraggly hairs than hairs that are the same length, even those bad boys up a little bit.
Okay. So Nate's prompts in ChatGPT are kind of on par with what you just said. Once it starts to be messy, that's not a bad answer.
No, it's like, and that's literally what I'll tell people. I'll like, as soon as you don't like it, trim it as soon as you don't like the way it looks. Like, if you don't like the way it looks, that means it's probably messy. And if it's messy, there's ways to clean it up without cutting it off. And actually, that's the piece I have answered that question with quite a bit. I've had when do I know when I first trim? I said, you'll know when it's time to trim. Just know that there's a difference between trimming and shaving, and fixing something you don't like doesn't mean you have to shave it. It's like, just because you don't like the way it looks doesn't mean it's time to shave it off. That means it's time to trim. And when do you trim? When you feel like that.
Yeah. And Chris, I agree. For people that will seek out a beard YouTube channel, it does depend on the length and look they're going for. Most people sincerely have no concept of what they want. They have no concept of what it will look like. They've got no baseline, right? Like, it's hard. And most of us can do this with other people. It's hard to see people that have no beard or a very short beard and say, I wonder what they would look like with a 16-inch beard. It's very difficult to put that thought. And for them, when they have no experience with beards at all, to be like, well, it depends. What are your goals? They're like, I don't know. I just stopped shaving last week.
What are my goals? To not shave for November.
Right. No, okay. Well, let's put it together. And also, I like Leo's perspective of, even if it's not the best way, as long as it gets them started, if we give them advice that answers their question, it scratches the itch, right? they can make their adjustments based on their goals later. We don't need a perfect journey out the gate. We can adjust later. So I do think it's something along the lines of, when should you trim your beard first? When you, and I like what you said, when you know, it'll be a point where it just seems like styling isn't working for you anymore. And then it's a good time to do your first trim.
Yeah, yeah, exactly right. And if it's like, what's the on your way out the elevator pitch? Like not even the elevator pitch to when the first time to trim is. I love that when it starts to look messy, or when it starts, whenever it, when it starts getting out of hand. It's like, or you do the thing that Leo said, give him a compliment. Be like, well, I mean, you look like Jason Momoa right now. So as soon as you stop looking like Jason Momoa, I'd say maybe trim it, then keep looking.
That's a good one. That's a good one. And I kind of like where Chris went. He said, look up styles. Most people aren't going to do that. And I can tell you that, Chris, because I deal with most people. I do like this, in the same exact concept that Chris had, is pick a celebrity and go specifically from a celebrity. And I think that could work.
Yeah, no, that totally works. Yep. You get like a little inspo board going on.
Yeah. Okay. What's our video title for this? Because I have one of when to do your first trim, but what is a title that somebody who's just starting growing his beard, he doesn't know what he wants to do with it? In chat, feel free to use ChatGPT, your brain, or anything. So the content is going to be about trim when it's messy, and then the advice is pick a celebrity that you want, that you love their beard and you think you could go after. What's our title that someone's scrolling and they see on YouTube? Oh, I need that one right there.
Yeah.
About answering when they should do their first trim.
But you already have a first trim video, but this one needs to be about how to know when you need the first trim, not how to do the first trim.
Yeah. Well, I have one when to do it too. But this one has a different angle.
It is.
And it's not bad to recycle info. Most people that are on the channel now never saw that video from 5 years ago. But
beard. Ooh,
yeah.
I like that. Beard aspirations. I like that one too. Oh yeah, God, so my first journey was really bad. Jacob, I like that.
Yeah. I like the concepts on these, but like YouTube psychology, no one's clicking beard aspiration or who is my beard. Like we get it, but somebody viewing will not, unfortunately. I wish. And then,
it's like, what do geodes and beards have in common, right? You cut them open and they look great.
So here is when to do your first beard trim. So here's me at the top, right? 5 years ago, 5+, almost 60K views. That's a great video. When to trim, good thumbnail. Scuba's next. Look at Scuba with his Adidas shirt. Oh, wait, that's his chest tattoo. Loser. No, just kidding. It is true. That is his chest tattoo, though. But okay, so going off of that, when to trim your beard. All right.
Short beard neck. Oh, I thought it said necklace. I was like, beard necklace. What?
How to have an intentional beard? Yeah. And I'm trying to strike at the heart. I'm here. Let me rephrase this. I'm trying to strike at the heart of guys that don't know their beard goal. They don't know when to trim. They don't know when. They don't know what to look for. They don't know.
New beards don't have to look bad.
Okay.
Yep. Because they'll be like,
new beards don't have to look bad. When to trim?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh God. It's like, oh God, my new beard looks bad. Wait, new beards look bad? New beards don't look bad. What do you mean new beards look bad?
I like it. That's it. Okay. New beards do not have to look bad. Dash. When to trim. When to first trim.
There you go.
That's it.
Yeah, I like that.
That's it. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a winner.
Okay. Got it.
All
right, guys.
Well, thanks for joining for the last part of our marketing meeting here. Oh,
right. If you're curious of how our calls go, it's usually this with some random tangents and laughs involved.
That's all it is. Well, all we're doing is having just group marketing calls now.
Yep. No. All right, guys. Well, thank you. I cannot believe it is after 2:00 already. So we got to wrap this bad boy up here, and just got a message from that's so funny from a soccer coach at Maddox's new club, and he's talking about Dang, I gave him some soap to use, and he says, dude, does that soap come in 3-pack or 5-pack? Either way, I can buy some and stock up. That's how you do it. That's how you do it, guys. Okay.
Yeah.
I loved this.
We were just talking about beard, or about our body wash with kids in sports and how it's awesome for oily teenage skin.
The best. Facts. The best for that. Yep.
Literally
Facts.
the best.
Yep. All right, guys. We are going to get out of here. Next week, we are going to pivot back to the beard product company discussion on what they want, what they wish you knew, because we had so many good things. You guys loved it. You requested a part 2. We're going to follow that up next week. And I think it's really cool for, if we have any new beardsmen with No Shave November, to come in and start thinking about that side of things. So I think it's going to be really fun, you guys. 1 o'clock next week. Oh, we do have daylight savings time on Sunday, so make sure you adjust. We will be here at the normal 1 o'clock Eastern time, okay? So we'll be here. Nick, final words for any of our friends and family. And Jason says his son plays hockey. It is a must for after practice.
Oh, I'm telling you what, we got to get this thing into like every like area that's like those team arena complexes. We got to get into those places, because it's like, if we have a next brick and mortar, it's not going to be barbershops. It's going to be kids sports complex facilities. No, have an awesome Halloween. Stay safe. Have fun this weekend. Hopefully you have good weather wherever you are for Halloween and all that good stuff. And you will see pictures from our Halloween, that's for sure. And hopefully we see some of yours and get some cool stories next week on Tuesday.
That's right. And this is always fun to say, but Jack and Jill, enjoy your Halloween as well. All right. Have fun with that. I know it's Jill's pinnacle holiday. So Jill, enjoy the heck out of it.
Yeah, this is Jill's Super Bowl and Christmas, like all rolled into one.
And I'm here for it. All right, guys. Enjoy your week. We will see you next week. Please stay up.